so I've been playing the heck out of Star Citizen, and as a new player, I can say that I understand the appeal. It is a massive game, but having played it just for a little while and having everything I've heard about it, it doesn't sound like it's ever getting released. I'll tell you why. As far as a project goes, there's certain elements that come to a project, and this is where Star Citizen is kind of lacking, or at least their development is kind of lacking. It's an amazing game. It's got a lot of features, a lot of cool stuff. Like, love it, but I want to love it more. It's been 13 some odd years in the making, and from what I've been told, it's just feature after feature after feature has been added, and eventually, someday, it may be released. But as I see it right now, it doesn't look like that's ever going to happen, because it's not following the typical project management phase, milestone, completion process. It's pretty much stuck in one phase, and more feature being added after feature after feature after feature, which it can work, and if you have funding, that's great, but it's just a perpetual loop, and I'll explain how. In project management, let's say if I have a game I want to make. In phase one, you have a plan. You have a roadmap to say, I want a stable release of a game. It's going to have these specific set of features, and that's it, no more. And we're going to make sure that we ace those 100%. Say like halfway through it, you're just like, well, we've hit this milestone, and now the game is close to 100% functional as possible. Anybody can play it. We've tested on most systems. We've verified all the bugs. We've fixed all the bugs, and we resolved all these issues, right? So it's functional, stable. You could call that a milestone and then say, okay, now that we've got that fixed and everything ready to go, we've got network multiplayer features we want to add. Cool. So then we add those in 1, 2, 3, 4. But again, a set amount, a reasonable amount for like a span of time. So then you get it close to 100% functional as possible. Then you release your stable build. This is the one you would probably sell to the public. Call it done. You have to have an end. You have an end project, set amount of features. That's it. You don't keep adding. But from what I can tell, from what I witnessed in this game so far, is they just keep adding. And I'm going to explain why that's a problem. Let's get rid of the milestones, and we'll just say that like it's just more and more features. And then we're not really planning on a stable release, but rather we're just going to keep adding features. Well, with each feature, let's say you've got dozens, like 12 plus nagging little bugs. Okay? And maybe 6 really hard to fix bugs that are also little and nagging. Okay, so let's say you have that. Well, with each feature you add more and more bugs. More bugs, more bugs, more bugs. You see where I'm going with this? And they're never truly resolved. And maybe you'll fix some of them, but not all of them. When you add all these up, it gets insane. Let's just say you just keep adding feature after feature. It goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. I don't know why it's double spacing. You see what I'm getting at? More and more features mean more and more bugs. And maybe they'll be addressed, maybe they won't. And especially if they're like the 6 little bugs that are a lot harder, they will pile up so fast. And what they call this is scope creep. Scope creep is a bane of many companies. What scope creep is whenever you keep adding features without milestone or without a set rule that we're going to stop at this point and call it good. No, this is actually still going on and on. That's pretty much why I believe that as awesome as Star Citizen is, it's probably never going to be released. At 13 years, they should have at least had one stable release by now. Maybe just like the basic part of it where you're just doing the mining, the shipping, stuff like that. Just the basic stuff could have been released, which is kind of the opposite of like, say, No Man's Sky, which they rushed a release before it was finished. It's kind of the opposite, but they went back and they've cleaned it up and whatnot. Now it's actually pretty good. And Star Citizen is incredible for what it does, even now. Like if it didn't, when I get on, it's maybe 30 minutes, I'll have a crash or something will happen where the game will just be broken and unplayable, and I've got a 4070 Ti and fiber internet, so that shouldn't be happening. It's not something on my end, I don't think. But it's a crazy fun game, but like I want to love it more. Does it have a lot to it? It's such a wide breadth that now it's become this huge tree that they're going to have a hell of a time chopping down. It's going to take them forever to iron all these bugs out, especially if they keep adding more, and the more things they add, more and more bugs. It's like I said, and it's like, yeah, that's cool. It's great that it has a lot of features, but at some point you have to say, this is where we're at, and we're not adding anything else until these things are fixed. You know, no more 30,000 error, no more, you know, because that's a netcode thing. No more errors to do with problems with video cards that need to be finagled and toyed with. No more weird stuff like characters like glitching under a ship and stuff like that. Also, I believe that's netcode, but I'm not sure. The point is that every time they ignore these things and just kind of let it go by the wayside, but yeah, we'll fix it later. It never gets fixed. And not only that, it mounts. Things pile on top of it, and more critical bugs get piled on top of it. And I know it's an alpha, and people are going to say, well, alphas are buggy. Well, alphas don't typically last for 13 years. Usually they're like toward the end phase, and then you hit your beta, and then you get your release. It's kind of on the road to being finished. You've got an internal test that maybe is verified that a lot of things are working, and then you get your alpha, and then you do your beta. Right now, you know, in the alpha, it's just, you know, I'm told that a lot of these, like, I'm looking, the problems that I'm having up, I'm looking them up, trying to fix them, and there are stuff that has been in the works for 7 years, and then it's still not resolved. I'm just like, holy crap. That is one of those nagging 6 bugs per added instance over and over and over again. And I understand, like, you want a game full of features. Mostly people want, like, the stability. They like the idea that I'm going to be able to complete a mission without crashing. I can't tell you how many times I've been so close to finishing a mission and the game will just crash or my ship will disappear. And then it's just, you know, and again, I'm a new player. You know, there's some seasoned vet out there who's dropped tons of money into this game. They've got like these big $200-300 ships, and it's just holy crap. But me, I'm a newbie. But I'm just telling you, this is my first impression. It's an incredible game, but I want to love it more. I know for a fact that if this keeps going on, like if I keep almost finishing a mission and then like my boxes disappear or my ship disappears, or maybe I just crash and I wake up and then all the time that I'd spent on it was just a complete waste. Well, that's just, I don't know. It's just, I'll get bored of it eventually. But for now, I'm going to keep trying it. One of my friends, he has sort of a more aloof attitude about it, where it's like, who cares? Just go die, go do stupid crap, just have fun with it, because it is a video game. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. But at the same time, I kind of like the idea that I'm making some kind of progress in a video game, not just, oh, all my gear's lost again? Okay. Eventually that just gets tiresome. And such a great game like this has so much potential, but again, they're taking too big of a bite. They're doing too much. They can dial it back a little bit and maybe, you know, have a stable release. And just say, okay, we don't have racing in this one, but we've ironed out all these bugs instead of focusing on this project. Because sometimes things can be a little too ambitious. That isn't to say you can't do it, but take smaller bites. If you're chopping down a huge tree, you don't just whop the tree down in one swing. You take small chunks at a time until it finally, you got it. So that's my thoughts anyway. Thanks for watching. Drop a like, subscribe, all that crap, whatever. But, all right, I'll see you.